Hi everyone, Tony Kashawi here, and I've got Brendan Allen on the line. Well, he's actually we're doing a shared recording, and I wanted to interview him about the Gympie Futures Business Breakfast that just happened yesterday morning. So let's bring Brendan on. Where is he? Hi Brendan, there you are. I wanted to pin you down and say, how did that Gympie Futures Business Breakfast go?
Oh, it was excellent. It was really good. There was over 250 local business people there. Nolan's had 34 people from their staff turn up. So it was really well supported, and it was great to see a function put on by the GRC that was supported in conjunction with the other chambers of commerce in the Gympie region.
Excellent. So I noticed that the speakers, we should mention who was there to speak. Wayne Carlson, doing statistic research and tourism. Bernard Salt, who is an OAM, futurist and social commentator, and Lynn Banford. What is an OAM?
Order of Australia medal, isn't it?
Wow. And he was here in our little old town, Gympie.
Yep. It's been 20 or 30 years since he was here last, and he was just an amazing speaker. If I could just be half as good as him in public speaking, I'd be a much better public speaker than I am. He was entertaining, he was informative, he was absolutely wonderful, and kept us captivated for 45 minutes.
Oh, so he was the main speaker, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so some of the questions that were posed at the meeting was it's all about the economy was the subtitle. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it was all about Gympie's future economic development plan. So they've got one that's going forward from now until 2025, I believe it is. We've just come out of the end of the one previous, which was 2014 to 2019. So yeah, this meeting was focused on the current going forward plan.
Okay, so some of the things that were talked about was, where is Gympie heading? Is there something you can, I know we don't have 45 minutes, but can you summarize what was said?
Absolutely. Bernard Salt had a lot of nice things to say about Gympie. We're brilliantly positioned. We're only 2 hours from an international airport. We've got the Sunshine Coast Airport, which also flies internationally from time to time. We have the beaches and Tin Can Bay at in under an hour. And he really talked about how we could be the central hub for something like a transport hub in Gympie. He had really glowing things to say about our little town.
And that sounds like we're talking about tourism and, increasing visitors to the town. But was there any discussion about preparing Gympie for encouraging industry to come here, like the very first meeting you had at the Chamber of Commerce meeting?
Well, this meeting, the Gympie Futures meeting, was more focused on the economic plan moving forward and also tourism. Lynn Banford spoke at length about tourism in the region. Bernard Salt suggested that the best way to move forward would be authenticity. So people are getting tired of a lack of authenticity in media, in Facebook, in Twitter, and Instagram. They want to go back in time, if you like, and get one-on-one service, authenticity, real people, real stories, real connections, and connectology, I believe, may have been a word he used.
Connectology.
You like that?
Well, yeah, I'll look it up. Is it in the dictionary?
Oh, it should be if it's not.
Okay, and the other thing that was mentioned that you were talking about was the future of the next 20 years, but it says, what are our strengths? What was discussed there?
We've still got a really strong and quite broad economy. Our economy is a $2.4 billion economy, and it has many different pillars. So it's still farming and agribusiness, agriculture, forestries and fishing are still our biggest industries by miles, followed by aged care, professional services, through to retail. So we still need to support our primary industries, which is something that I would have loved to go into a little bit more depth about. Is we have an economy that's supported mainly still by primary industries, and primary industries are under attack. They are being bombarded on all sides by legislation, red tape, and I'm genuinely concerned, just as a citizen, I'm genuinely concerned for the future of our primary industries, and I'd like to see some focus on how we can support our primary industries. They mightn't be the latest, greatest fad. They're not as shiny as a tech startup or something like that, but they're still the backbone of our region, and they still need our support and ongoing into the future. It's primary industries aren't going away anytime soon, and I hate to see them picked on.
Well, you say legislation is beating them down, but also the environment at the moment, isn't it? So they're battling on all sides.
They are.
So was there any solutions for that? When you say they're under attack, were there any solutions offered at the speak?
No. The meeting was definitely centered around the future and a broad plan. Obviously, in a couple of hours, you can't really cover anything in real nitty-gritty, but it was mainly focused at where do we go from here, as opposed to how do we get more money into Mary Street today. It wasn't the meeting for that. It was a meeting of an overarching plan, as opposed to this is how you put extra money into businesses' pockets today.
Well, I'm going to ask you the hard question. I mean, do you think that this meeting was spawned by the previous Chamber of Commerce meeting, where you had so many people turn up to talk about the future of the Gympie?
I'd certainly be honoured to believe that. I know that Tony Goodman, our president, and Lynn Banford from the Gympie Regional Council are working really closely together. I would love to think that the GRC is taking the lead that is being set by the Chamber of Commerce, and we can work together harmoniously to move Gympie forward, because at the end of the day, a successful Gympie makes a successful Chamber of Commerce and a successful GRC.
Well, I've got one last question. It says here in the list of the agenda was that there was a business planning discussion at the end. What shape and form did that take? It
was a panel. It had some great panelists on it. There was Bernard Bernard Salt was there. Also, there was two Bernards and two Julies. Julie Worth from Caribbean, Julie Williams from Ag Solutions, Bernard Salt, the guest speaker, and Bernard, our council CEO. And they talked ever so briefly about what Gympie means to them, and how we can best move it into the future. Bernard Salt reiterated what he'd said in his speech, saying that connectology and working together and being authentic is the way for the future, and supporting our local community. He also said we should really be admiring and lauding our local business people, as opposed to, hey, we've got somebody that was in an episode of A Country Practice in 1983 and he's the best export we've ever had. Let's focus on the local business person that has started a construction business. He went through high school here, started a construction business, employs a few locals, plays football on the weekend, and he is here. So we need to laud those people. And the other example that he used was somebody that's been through high school here, and she has started a hairdressing salon or something like that, and she plays netball. And we really need to focus on those people that build the city from inside. They don't go away and then we think that they're the best thing that's ever been here. Let's look after our people that are here now, supporting us from inside.
Okay, look, that's great. I don't have any more questions. I wish I was there, but 6:45 a.m. What is that? So, was it a good breakfast? Did I miss out on bacon and eggs?
It was a smorgasbord style breakfast that was feed yourself. I didn't actually eat breakfast. My current diet doesn't really allow me to eat much, but Nicole Millard, my business partner, did, and it was no complaints, that's for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here, but I must give a plug to you, Brendan, because you were mentioning all this other stuff about primary industry. But what about the digital technology? How is that going to play a role? How do you see it playing a role?
I suppose the great thing about digital technologies moving forward is they're not tied down to a postcode. You're not tied down to a piece of land. We could have a startup incubator in town here that could produce the next Uber. There's nothing stopping that happening. So that, for me, would be the biggest advantage of tech companies is they can be anywhere. You don't need to be in Silicon Valley. You can be right here. We're all connected together. And the rent's a heck of a lot cheaper here than it would be in San Francisco. That's for certain.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Well, thanks very much, Brendan, and keep us informed of the next things that the Chamber of Commerce is doing, and of course, Tenacious Digital as well.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Okay. Thank you. Over and out.